Welcome everybody to the Bento Boxcast. We're back with a brand new episode.
What up?
You already know the vibes. As you guys hear, we're here with the lovely Rafa and myself, Hector. You know, we're bringing it back to you guys with episode 15, and I cannot wait. It's going to be a great one. And yeah, I mean, okay, so here's the thing. I have consumed a ton of anime this week, and I'm super excited for this episode because we're going to talk about it, and I am even more excited for this upcoming time in the year where we get to see like the banger animes that come out in like the fall and winter seasons for anime. Because I don't know about you, Rafa, but every single time I think of fall and winter or just anime in general during the year, right, of anime, fall and season usually always, or fall and winter always usually like slap. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've had any like favorites back in the day that came out during the fall or winter, or if you've even paying attention to that stuff. Really, you're just kind of like
never ever pay attention to that. It was just like, oh, cool, another anime. You know, like I never really paid attention to specifically what were the where the slappers came out in what season. It was just here's another show I want to watch.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I can't say like I full on like, okay, dude, like this anime came out this season, but like when I know they slap, most of the time I always think of fall and winter. But that being said, guys, I just want to start off this pod in a very positive way. If you guys enjoy the content that you guys are going to hear, because we're going to be talking about a lot of things. Rafa has a special announcement. We're going to be talking about viewer comments. We're going to have a very huge news segment talking about something really dope that happened over the weekend. Of course, we got to get into our Rent-A-Girlfriend stuff, and then honestly, we're going to end off with the best two segments of the entire pod. You know, your guys' favorites by this point, and ours as well. Actually, all of it's our favorite, but slept on anime and anime swap. So if you guys enjoy the content that you guys are listening to, and always come back here, you know, drop a like, leave some love, drop some comments, and of course, remember to subscribe, hit that bell button to get the notifications, because YouTube be playing games, brother. YouTube
Yes,
plays
sir.
games.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Since that's out of the way, I did mention something very special. Rafa, you know, I put my ear to the streets, and the streets told me you have a very special announcement for the viewers today.
Yeah, I do. It's somewhat special. It's not that special. It's all right. It's all
Oh,
right.
okay.
It's all right. It's all right. As you guys may or may not know, beautiful listeners, there is another podcast out there. There's another YouTube channel out there that me and Hector here we beef with sometimes. We talk a little bit of smack with them sometimes. It's the Playing Pod with Alex and John on the Geek Chart 2000 channel. Now, see, a long time ago, youngins, a long time ago, I actually used to be part of that YouTube channel. But then things happened here and there, and I ended up packing my bags and hitting the road, as someone could say. But it turns out that mommy and daddy are back together again. So we talked it out with as in myself and Alex and John, and so you're gonna start seeing me
Ooh.
on their pod, the Playing Pod with Alex and John. I feel they shouldn't change the name. I feel they should just leave it like that and just have me on there. You know, the Playing Part of Alex and John has a really nice flow to it. I feel like adding my whole name to it is kind of gonna jank it up a little bit. You know, maybe to like a feature in there, maybe. But you know, I like how the name sounds for their podcast. We are gonna be doing like gameplay videos and things like that because you know we're all gamers. And us three started doing video game stuff. So if you guys are interested, hearing my opinion and other stuff that's not just anime, go check it out. I mean, we always plug these guys all the time, anyways. So if you guys wanna, you know, get a little bit different perspective on things, you know, their pod is there, video games, TV shows, movies, anything pop culture. That's what they talk about. And well, now it's what I'm gonna also be talking about with them. But Hector,
Oh,
I just
okay.
want to make it clear. I want to make sure that everybody knows. Okay? Because I don't want people to be like, oh, Rafa's ditching, Rafa's selling. No, not selling out. Okay? I'm Bento Box Boy for life. I'm Bento Boy for life. Okay? I'm not gonna get on there. Well, technically my podcast. I'm going to be part of it over there, but I'm not going to get on that podcast and be like, well, Bento Box is no, 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 no. I'm gonna defend it. Even let's say Alex starts to peep a little disrespect towards
Mm.
this podcast, I'm gonna put a stop to it. Say,
Ride or die.
Alex, right, exactly, dude, exactly. See, this is the way that I see it, Hector. This is the way I see it. I'm infiltrating. I'm behind
Oh,
enemy lines. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna confirm having a pulling John to our side. You know what I'm saying? By the end of the year. Bento Boxcast featuring John. That's all I'm gonna
one
say.
of
That's all I'm
us.
gonna say.
One of us.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's gonna I'm gonna have fun over there. It's gonna be fun podcasting with these guys because I've been podcasting with those guys for years.
Mm.
We're gonna be making awesome gameplay stuff with them again. I've always had a blast making YouTube content with these guys, but Bento Box Boy for life, my guy.
Ooh, we love it to hear it.
For
Here
life.
at the Anime Pod, the
Right.
best pod in all the anime land.
Right. The best anime pod of all the internet. I'm right. I'm ride or die, baby. Ride or
Mm.
die. Ain't gonna change. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying?
All I'm saying is, I know they have video over at the Play and Pod, so I swear to God, if Alex starts to disrespect us, I better see a fisticuff throwing. Like, I better see you just
Right,
hook
right,
swing him
right.
and just potentially fix his
I'm
messed up
gonna
hairline with that one
I'm
punch.
gonna I'm gonna flip his head off so everybody can see the hairline that he got going on. Don't worry, dude. I got you. I
Hmm.
got you. I got you. Don't even
Okay.
worry about it. It's
Okay.
all good. It's all good. Those dum dums. I ain't gonna let
Mm.
it go. I'm gonna let it go. Those dum dums over there they don't know what's coming to them. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
boy.
You know what I'm saying? Um. And of course, I cannot forget. Like we said, we plugged them in. Once again, the playing Paul, Alex, and John at Geekjar 2000. That's their YouTube channel. They're also on Spotify and everything video game, TV shows, movies, pop culture they talk about. I will be joining them also.
Mm.
But can't forget, Hector.
Mm.
Just because I'm gonna be over there with them, just because I'm gonna be over there making videos with them, ain't nothing's gonna change. You know why?
Why is that?
Fudge Alex, that's why, baby. Oof. That's all.
Oh.
That's all I gotta
I
say,
wish I
man.
had
That's
like
all
the
I gotta
MLG
say.
horns, dude. Bow, 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 bow.
Right, dude. That's all I gotta say, bro. You know what, man? That's all I gotta say about that.
Well, you know what? That's good because honestly, it's not about them, right? It's about us. It's about our viewers. It's about anime in general. And ooh, speaking of anime lovers and viewers of the Bento Boxcast, episode 14 last week was a phenomenal one. We had some great numbers. We appreciate you guys so much for that. Keep showing us love like that. We love it so
For
so much.
sure.
But a recurring guest, came in and dropped some heated words,
Mm,
a comment for us on the plane,
mm.
on the Bento Boxcast, and it is none other than our S plus plus tier, our
God tier.
exactly our god tier commenter, Josue Guevara. Mr. Guevara said, "I get Rafa's POV of the anime swap, but the thing is, you have to suspend belief for anime in general. You can't say, oh, that's not real. That wouldn't happen. You're ruining things for yourself when you try to take things apart like that." And so his comment is in reference to the anime swap that we did with Kisniver, which I gave Rafa, and Rafa kept trying to essentially make it very like realistic and in this world and reality. So, Rafa, I don't know if you have any comments on that.
I do. I do. It's unfortunate. I can't believe it, Hector. The day is finally here when me and my best friend disagree on something. I can't believe it. It's
Oh.
such a sad day. Such a sad day. I'm I'm so depressed. Oh, Josue, come on, Joe. All right, let me tell you. Let me tell you why you're wrong. All right, first of all,
Ooh.
okay. Now, I appreciate that you understand where I'm coming from, but the thing is this is the thing is, it doesn't matter if it's anime, if it's live action, if it's a comic book, if it's manga, if it's a cartoon that's not anime. It doesn't matter. It's CGI. It doesn't matter. What matters is what you establish in your show and you follow your own rules. Okay?
Hmm.
So if the show doesn't specifically point out like, hey, these guys are superhuman, or these guys have could take more punishment, or whatever, right? So like if they introduce some the a cast of characters, right? Like some fellow human beings. I'm gonna take that as in they're regular human beings. I'm not gonna take that as in, well, they could take in extra amount of punishment, or they have stronger skin, or whatever, right? Like if you present them as a regular person, I expect them to be a regular person. Okay. Now with Kisniver, they never said like, hey, these guys can take more punishment, these guys get this and that and this and whatever, whatever. All they said was these kids are connected through feeling pain, right? That's all they said.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say anything else other than that. So as a viewer, as myself, I'm saying that okay, these are regular kids, somehow are connected to feeling each other's pain. That's it.
Hmm.
Okay, so then when now there's a kid jumping off the a bridge, landing in traffic, he should be really hurt. Okay, that's all the point that I'm trying to make here. Okay, now again, it doesn't matter what type of medium the show is. The thing is, Hector, the thing
Ooh.
is, I don't go into shows trying to pick them apart and say, well, this is wrong, or this is wrong, or this is wrong. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I don't like the show, right? I go into the show just ready to watch it, just like anybody else. But
Okay.
the thing is, if you present to me something, and then you either ignore what you set up, or you just blatantly just go left on whatever you said you like. Let's say you set up your own rules in your world, and then you start doing something that's not in those bound and not bound by those rules that you set up, then I'm gonna have a problem with it.
Okay.
Okay, that's pretty much the problem that I had with it. For example, let's say someone said that there's a anime world where all oranges, the fruit orange, are red for whatever reason, right?
Okay.
Next thing you know, a character picks up an orange and it's blue. Why is it blue? You said it was red. Follow your own rules, right? Or human beings in this anime world can hover or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's one that starts flying. Why could he fly? You only said they could hover, right? Like you have to stick to your rules that you set up in your own world. And now with Kissniver, they never said anything about these kids being able to withstand a lot of pain. All they said was these kids share each other pain. And now the main kid, all they said for him was that he can't feel pain, right? So
Yep.
just because he can't feel the pain doesn't mean he's immune to the actual pain he's going through. It's just like he's on painkillers all the time, in a sense, right?
Okay.
So so if he could still break a bone like anybody else, he could still bleed like anybody else, he could be concussed like anybody else. That doesn't change. The problem I have with the show is that these guys are getting hurt or falling off of certain areas or whatever, where I feel like a normal person would get hurt more than they did. That was the whole point.
Hmm.
That's my whole point. Okay. So if you're presenting a product to me, if you're presenting a show to me, again, it doesn't matter what medium it is. It could be in live action, it could be CGI, it could be a play, whatever. If whatever world you set up, stick to those rules. If you set up a world where it's normal people, put it in a strange situation, and certain things happen that don't make sense, that don't have it a factor in, or whatever situation they're in, don't expect them to be okay with it. You know? Now, certain people might let things go easier than I can. I just can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. If I see a flaw and I feel it's like a flaw, I'm gonna point it out, and it's gonna stick to my head, and it's gonna bother me. Now, I'm not saying Kiss Knife is a bad anime. I didn't say that. I enjoyed it. I clearly said that I enjoyed all the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I clearly said that I was enjoying where the story was going. It's just that it's kind of hard to accept that something like that happened, right? Where the kid jumped off that bridge and survived. or not if not just gotten really really hurt. But again, like other like it seems like Hoso was like he was able to let go of it. I'm not I can't let go of something like that, but it's not enough for me to say, well, f this show. It does have I did have to take points off of the show, and who knows, it might change later on. You know, maybe there's a secret and that I don't know yet. Maybe these kids can sustain more damage. Maybe it's something that the anime hasn't pointed out to me yet. Who knows? I was barely 3 episodes in, right? But but in those 3 episodes, it was never explained to me that these kids could take crazy amount of damage that they were taking. I mean, these kids were getting tasered, and not just like a little zap, like a little 1 second taser. They were getting tasered for at least 10 seconds. Someone had to pass out, right? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
I
So
don't know.
like the only way I can think of it is that like, is it wrong for you to assume that their world is exactly like ours, where it's like we can only take so much electricity in our body, from tasers, or that we ourselves can't survive something like jumping off a bridge and getting hit by a car? Like, is it potentially wrong for you to think that like, okay, whatever logic and rules we have in the real world apply directly to anime, regardless of them setting it up or not?
It's if for me one big point for me is if it's set in a real world location.
Okay, so like if they say like Tokyo, then it's like, all
If
right,
it's
that's
Tokyo,
okay.
if it's Osaka, Japan, if it's Chicago, Illinois, if it's Los Angeles, California, it doesn't matter where, right?
Hmm.
If you are what you're presenting to me is clearly shown, you're clearly showing me a normal everyday kid, a normal everyday person. I for the if unless you specifically tell me, hey, this isn't the regular Earth that we live in. There could be other factors involved. I expect it to follow the same laws that we follow,
Okay.
right? Like for example, it's not an anime, but for example, like Breaking Bad,
Hmm.
right? When you start watching Breaking Bad, you don't expect Walter White to shoot lasers from his eyes, right?
No.
Right, because he's set in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's a teacher. He has kids. He has a family, right? Why don't you question what he can do, or what amount of pain he can take? Is it because it's live action?
No, I would say it's because it's anime, essentially like a cartoon, right? I think okay, and at the same time,
I feel
this is
like
just
I
me
feel
playing
like
devil's advocate, like just
I
trying
feel like it's
to.
an excuse though.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think it's also perspective, right? Like I feel like when I go into an anime, I personally don't care if it's like based off of reality and how our world works and the logic behind our world. Um, I'll go in there like, oh, okay, cool. That's kind of crazy that he survived that. Like, yeah, I mean, I myself don't go in there and thinking like, okay, cool. So like, if he takes a blow to the head, like that's it for him because like that's how our world works. I think that's just like maybe how you go into watching a show, right? Like I don't
Yes,
automatically assume something like that. Um,
the reason why is because I don't give anime in a sense a excuse or a jail out of free card or whatever. Anime is just another way to consume a media or consume a story, right?
mhm.
So
Yeah, I
there's
agree with
certain
that.
anime that could be done like in live action or could be done in CGI. Like I said, there's different ways you can take in a story. Anime is just one of those certain ways you can take in a story, right? So like I was saying, like let's say Breaking Bad was an anime. Would I be like, well, he can get away with it because of this and because of that, because it's an anime. He could start flying because it's an anime, or he could, or yeah, he's a super genius, so of course he could do this. Like like if it doesn't for me, it doesn't matter if it's a comic book, if it's a anime, if it's a cartoon, if it's a movie, if it's live action, unless you specifically tell me that this is not set in a normal world. It doesn't have to be the real world, but if it's like, let's say it's a normal, what we know as the laws of nature,
Mm-hmm.
unless you specifically tell me this is not what's going on, this is what I expect from it.
Hmm.
That's all.
Okay. Woo. Well, I mean, so that's kind of, I'm also surprised that we kind of got really into it about the whole
Yeah,
comment, especially
I
your
didn't.
Breaking Bad reference. That was that threw me off super hard, but I
I
understood.
yeah, I didn't really mean to get into it like that. Like when I first read the comment, I was just like, "Oh, okay, I kind of know what I'm gonna say."
Hmm.
But then, like as we started talking about it, I was like, "No, like I don't know." It just my mind started going, and I was like, "Okay, well, I feel like I need to explain myself better."
I mean, yeah,
So
I
yeah, I
think
don't
I think you did a
know.
pretty good job on it. Yeah, I'd say you did a pretty good job. I will say I don't know if Josue is gonna fully agree with what you said, but I think that's
Hey,
the beauty of it all. Like, everybody has their own perspective and
exactly,
thought process on everything. So I'm
exactly.
sure if
That's
anything, he'll comment and give more elaboration on what he thought about what you said in general.
that that's the beauty of our friendship, you know.
Okay.
Because we might not always agree all the time, but at the end of the day, me and my best friend Josue still meet up every Sunday, eat pizza, and play basketball. Like it ain't a big deal because we're
Ooh.
best friends like that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, guys, that being said, I am super excited to talk about this next topic because we're actually, for once, Rafa, on time today. It is 8:25 p.m. and we're going to get right into the news with our double correspondents Rafa and Hector about
Oh,
the
my.
Virtual Crunchyroll Expo that just went down this past weekend. So, I'm really excited for this one, man. I saw some incredible things this past 3 days. I will
Yes.
say I was not a huge fan of the format. I did not like the virtual aspect of it all.
Hmm.
Um, I think it definitely was lacking a bit of like connection. I don't know if that's the right way of saying it. Like I didn't feel like, oh, there you go. I didn't feel immersed as much as I wanted to be. I guess it's also going along with the certain situations that I was in while I was watching it. Like I would watch it during my break at work when I got the chance for like that hour. And then on the days that I was off, I'd watch it here and there, and I'd really only tune in. Well, actually, that's the other cool thing about it, but that's where it differs, with conventions, where I could just walk around and wait till like I don't know, till the certain panel was going on. But for this, it's like I would tune out, go like play Xbox or whatever, or just play whatever or do something else, and then tune back in and watch what I wanted to watch. Um, so I guess in that aspect, I wasn't a big fan of it either because I'm sure you agree. I'd much rather be walking around a convention floor and looking around and doing stuff than waiting around till the next panel comes on at 11 a.m. or whatever. Um, but in general, there was a ton of stuff, a ton of stuff to go over about this Virtual Crunchyroll Expo. So I'm gonna go through a few lists of things that I noticed, and then I want to see if you have any of the same ideas about it, or if you also, you know, got entangled with how all this like was going on, or got your eye caught by any of the things that that my eyes got caught by. The
Hmm.
first thing that really intrigued me, and I thought was pretty cool, but kind of hard to again to use the same word immersed in, is they had a virtual cat cafe slash lounge and live stream. That I was like, oh, that's cool, but like essentially they just it's like cat cams. You just watch them walk around and kind of just chill out. I was like, all right, cool. I went in there for like 2 minutes and I left. I was like, all right, that's it. Okay, cool. Um, After that, all the panels that I did kind of tune into here and there, and I'll leave the biggest thing till the end because it's probably the one that I'm most excited about. But God of High School, they had an amazing panel. You got like a ton more insight on like the future of the show, and kind of listen to the creator and some of the voice actors, I believe. Kind of just talk about how they're experiencing the show and what they're doing with it, and it kind of got me really hyped considering I did essentially drop the show. Um,
Hmm.
and I mean, if they're gonna do it the way they kind of explained, which is we're gonna try to give you the most impactful moments, but also try to pack in as much story into we can, as much as we can into this, time period that we're allotted. Um, I kind of understand now a little bit better where they just don't have a ton of time to do it, and also they don't know when or how they're gonna come out with the next season, and of course because of COVID and everything, it's kind of harder to produce like these big name projects and things like that. They also live streamed a bunch of concerts, like K-pop, Japanese, and other artists who have sung like OPs and endings. For example, one that I did watch was Myth and Royd, and then the other one was like the Shield Hero musicians who helped make the soundtrack for season 1. That was pretty cool. They were drawing Hime, which is the mascot / symbol of Crunchyroll, and kind of taught you how to draw it. And they had like the cosplay, of course, the cosplay corner cup or whatever it was called. That was cool. I was actually looking through all the contestants that were like,
I really enjoyed that.
yeah, that was sick. That was probably one of my favorite ones, or favorite things that happened throughout the entire event expo. I saw some really dope ones that like was super surprised me. I was like, wow, they put a lot of effort into this, and there were some that were kind of lackluster, but they just did what they could, and I mean, hey, they enjoyed their time doing it. And at the very end, or at the very least, they ended up on the page for Crunchyroll. So like,
right,
they ended up winning anyways. It doesn't matter. And then the one that surprised me the most was when I saw Junji Ito's name. I thought it was going to be about like his horror stuff, but it was literally about his cat diaries.
Yeah, the cat diaries.
I was like, that kind of sucks.
Book also.
Yeah. I wanted to see at least some stuff about his, horror and everything, but it was literally all about cat diaries. But the biggest thing that kept happening throughout the entire time at Crunchyroll Expo was a ton of new animes, and future animes got announced.
Yes.
And you saw like a ton of trailers, and I was super stoked about it. The ones that I wrote down that kind of caught my eye quite a bit were Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2. Cannot freaking wait. Shenmue.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah, that one's going to be cool. Shenmue Anime is, I don't know. I have no idea what that one was. I just saw the trailer.
Well, Shenmue is there's 3 games. There's Shenmue 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
And they have this huge cult following.
Oh, wow. Right?
Like Shenmue 1 and 2 were like beloved, and then like I think it's been like almost like a decade or something, like a really long period of time. And then Shenmue 3 finally came out. Like, I think it came out like maybe last year or something like that, or 2 years ago. I think I could be getting the dates wrong, but it's very recent. Shenmue 3 just came out, right? So it's like it's this big, huge thing in the video game world, right?
Okay.
So it's really cool to see that there's gonna be a Shenmue anime. Now I never played any of the Shenmue games. I just know there's a huge following, there's a huge cult fan base there for it, like die-hard fans for this game. So I wonder if that's going to transition over into the anime. Because a lot of people play video games, they also watch anime. So that's something really cool to see. Hopefully it gets supported. Hopefully we can get more video game anime and stuff like that. Just really quick, Shenmue. If I know this correctly, if I could be wrong, but I think the basis of the game is that Shenmue. I think that's the name of the guy. I could be wrong. I think his dad got killed or something like that. Like his dad got murdered, and he's trying to figure out who did it, pretty much, who killed his dad. And the way that you play the game is that you go throughout the 3 games, is that you go to like the village or the town or like the city or whatever you're in, and you talk to the people in there, and then they give you information and you start piecing things together to getting to know the people of the town, things like that. And I think there's also like fighting and a bunch of like mini games, and it's like if I had to compare it to something, I would compare it to like maybe Yakuza without all the because Yakuza gets really wacky though.
Yeah.
Like if the wackiness was less turned down, it was more focused on like on a story, I guess. I don't know. I never really played the game. I just have a somewhat of an idea of what the game is about. But I'm for sure gonna check out the anime when it comes out, just to see like just to see how it is. Maybe it transitions really well from video game to anime. I feel like something like Shenmue would work very well because it's mostly just like interactions with other characters,
Oh,
so
okay.
I feel like it would work. I feel like it would. So
it kind of sounds like Persona, Like, you know how they have like the video games, and then they also have like the anime. I don't know if you ever watched
Right.
the
Yeah.
Persona anime, but yeah. I mean, hopefully it gets good traction, because then that would mean that we're gonna have more video game to anime adaptations, which would be really cool. And
Really
then
cool to see.
get more
Yeah.
like in depth on characters, and of course, like, I mean,
Hmm.
from what you're saying, they have like a cult following, so like it's really interesting. Like I said, I've never heard of it. I saw it. I know. I believe Josue actually tagged both of us in a Twitter post as well. I didn't get to it just yet, but I'm gonna look into it now even more so. Another anime that got announced was Doctor Stone season 2. I cannot wait for that one. Super excited. Let's see. There's also X Arm ARM anime, which the trailer looked interesting. And that's pretty much all I really know about it. I didn't really like dive too deep into it. There was another one called To Your Eternity, which that one really like not surprised me. It got me really interested. I want to see what that one's about. The visuals looked really really dope, but again, it's like the X Arm. I'm not too sure about it. Onyx Equinox, I will say the art style is not for me. It's like the Crunchyroll original that they're working on. I wasn't a big fan of it. I know they're like heavily promoting it. I'm guessing it's like something that Crunchyroll, kind of like God of High School and Tower of God, that they're like super putting a lot of time into. But I wasn't a big fan of the art style. I don't know if you saw anything about that at all. Um,
I know some of it. Yeah.
yeah, but
It's. I feel like I gotta see it in like I gotta see the full episode
yeah,
to really make a judgment.
yeah. I'm hoping I can get over the I guess the art style barrier, and see what it's actually really about. There was another one called The Hidden Dungeon Only I Can Enter. That one, I don't know, just something about dungeon animes, like they usually get me. So I want to see if this one's as good as what I'm expecting of it. And then finally, the one that I'm most excited about is Jujutsu Kaisen. That one I am extremely hyped for. And just everything about it is just making me super excited. I've been seeing nothing but Twitter posts from different content creators, just talking about this one show and how they better hit this out of the park. It's super super popular. It's just this dope anime slash manga about like demons and source or exorcists and things like that, and it's like a very fighting esque anime. So it's like action packed. There you go. That's the words I was looking for. It's very action packed, and I'm super excited for it. It looks really really dope. So that's just some of the ones that I saw. I know there was a lot more actually. Like they really balled out with like
A
the
lot more.
trailers and things like that. Yeah. So these are the ones that caught my eye. I know there's a ton more, and I mean that's pretty much everything that I took note of and kind of like saw. I don't know if there's anything I missed, or if you want to elaborate on anything that I spoke about.
Yeah, actually, I do. I actually have a lot more. You did hit some of the ones that I had pointed out, but don't worry, I have enough. If I don't know if you ever heard of this anime called Cells at Work.
I did. Oh no way! They're making another season.
There, there's going to be a season 2,
Ooh.
and there's going to be a spin-off
Oh wow.
called
Okay.
Cells at Work Code Black. So they both going to come out in January 2021,
Mm-hmm.
so next year. So they're both gonna and it's two separate teams. So the original team that worked on Cells at Work the first season
Okay.
is gonna work on Cells at Work season 2, and then it's a whole different other group that's gonna work on Cells at Work Code Black. So pretty much, for those who haven't seen Cells at Work, who don't really know what the show's about, it's pretty much it's it's your cells, your blood cells, your white cells, pretty much how your body works, but anime-fied, right? So like, they picture like a human dressed in red, and that's a red blood cell, or someone dressed in white, that's a white blood cell. And these cells, or they look like humans. They live in towns and things like that, and if like bacteria and viruses like enter the body, like if you catch a cold or something, you see how these cells interact with each other and try to fend off the cold, as an example, as for like an episode and things like that. So that's what Cells at Work is basically. It's like a comedy. It's super bloody, super violent, but it's like it's played up for laughs. It's a really fun show, and it also does teach you things about the body,
It
so it's
does.
really
Yeah.
cool. Now, but the really fun thing about Cells at Work Code Black is because the difference between the original show and the one that's called Code Black is that the original show follows the body or the cells inside of a body of someone who's healthy, someone who's young that takes care of themselves. And Code Black follows someone who's old, who doesn't take care of themselves, who I think they smoke. It's pretty much like the opposite. Like just like again, it's in the name, Code Black, right? So like in the sense, it's like it's you're following these cells who every day something's going wrong, pretty
Oof.
much, right?
Okay.
Someone who doesn't exercise, someone who doesn't take care of themselves, pretty much to kind of sum it up. So it's gonna be a really fun to see the difference between both shows. It's really cool to see. It's something that was really interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I really enjoyed the first season, so I'm glad it's gonna be season two, and I'm really excited for the spinoff to see how they do stuff like that with those characters because they're different. They're different, complete characters. They're not the same from
Really?
season one.
I was
Yeah,
kind of, oh, man, I was kind of hoping that they at least bring the little girls. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like the little kids.
they might. I mean, they're not gonna be the same kids, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like,
But they
yeah,
might.
I want them because essentially when you say like Code Black, right? I think of like a war torn like country, right? Like it's like the explosions everywhere and like everything going on, and then essentially these kids are like evil and try to like, I don't know. I just feel like they're like these little evil
Why
little
would they be
monsters.
evil?
Well, because they're in like a body that's not healthy, that they don't care about themselves, that they just don't, it's like I want to see
Right.
everything flipped upside down, like these little cute little kids are essentially carrying, for example, one of the scenes in a very iconic scene in the show is like these little, I forget exactly what they are, like cells. I don't know what they're exactly in the show itself, but essentially these little kids who represent a part of like a microorganism in your body, or whatever the right term for that is. And they're like going down these stairs and they have this huge box and they're all like afraid to go down these steps. And it's like, I don't know, maybe like 8 steps, right? But like it's such a huge task and people are overlooking them and like, oh my god, can they actually do it? And then in the end, obviously they do it. And it's like such a cute little scene. Look it up. You'll see what I'm talking about. But like I want to see, like, how they're like so cute in that show. Like I just want to see them be like evil little monsters in like Code Black. Like that'd be hilarious to me. Or just see everything like flipped upside down.
I think you're taking it the wrong way. The way that I pictured it was like it's almost I don't say it's dissimilar, but like they're trying to do their job, but just the work environment it's
It's
so
just
messed
harder to
up.
do.
It's
Yeah.
it's hard for them to do. I feel like that's what's going to be. I wouldn't picture their own selves turning against them like that. I feel like that like why would your selves turn against you? I don't know, but yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's coming out next year, January 2021. Moving on from that, and now I know someone who's gonna be very excited for this next premiere. It
Oh.
is Mr. Osomatsu season 3. What's that? What's that? That is the show with the sextuplets. The one show that me and John talk about all the time.
Oh, the octuplets. Oh, okay.
The yeah, quote unquote the octuplets. It's with the sextuplets. They're having a season 3 and it's gonna come out in October 12th. So
Mmm.
they announced it. So it's awesome to see that this show's still going on. Season 3, I'm pretty sure it's going to be it's as wacky as it was at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I know John's going to get a kick out of that. Um, Another anime that I need to go back and finish because it was such a good anime, but I don't remember why I dropped it. It's called Golden Kamui. Hopefully I said that
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Season 3 is coming out for that. That's coming out on October 5th. For those who don't know what this show is, it's like back in the day. I don't remember exactly what year it is. But it's pretty much following this guy he's a soldier, and he's trying to find this buried treasure or buried gold or whatever. And the map is tattooed on people's bodies, so he has to find the people and like in a sense kill them, quote unquote. He doesn't have to kill them, but like he kind of has to kill them because he has to take the piece of the skin off of them and piece it together to make the map, right? To find the gold. That's like the basic premise of the show. Like very, very early on. That's what's going on. So it's really cool to see that there's going to be this whole season three. Like this show is still going on. I dropped it on season one. I'm surprised that there's going to be season three. Nothing against it. I'm just like, oh, cool. This show is still going on. Like I need to make sure I go back and give it another chance because I dropped it. It was really good. So it was a really awesome action-packed show. I don't know why I ended up dropping it, but that's for sure one I'm gonna make sure to go back to and watch. Another show that caught my interest. That is, um, it's they have it planned to come out for January 2021. Just the name itself, I was just like, this is gonna be silly. Like this is what I'm talking about. Like it's called So I'm a Spider, So What? So it's pretty much
Oh my god, I saw that. Yeah.
yeah. it's it's an isekai anime, right? So
hmm
it's like you see remember okay, I don't know if you guys remember this, listeners, but I said this a long time ago when we were talking about isekais. I'm not a big fan of isekais unless they find a certain twist to it, and this is the twist that I was looking for. So pretty much what the show's about is that this person, I'm assuming, is in this new world, this different world, and they are pretty much reincarnated, quote unquote, as the weakest monster in that world, which is like a little spider,
hmm
pretty much. You have to like follow their adventures from there on out. So it was really I'm excited to see where this goes. It sounds fun.
When I saw that, it instantly reminded me of what is it, Rimuru? Rimuru slime. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. It just gave
Yeah.
me just full on slime vibes. So I'm really excited because if they're gonna do essentially the same thing that they do with like create him into an OP character that he didn't know about, and then he just busts through doors and says, "What's up? I'm here." Like that's the vibe that I'm getting from it. If it's just like that time I got reincarnated as a slime, so I'm super interested in that one too. But yeah, I also thought the premise was kind of dumb. I was like, okay, slime's one thing, but a spider.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, why not? I mean, if you're gonna do it with slime, why not do it with spiders? It's they could have done it with anything else. There's another anime that it's getting premiered. I don't know if this was announced at the Crunchyroll, but it's under the same news day. So I was like, I'm gonna put it in here for one reason, and I'll explain it why. It's called Maetsetsu. Hopefully I said that right. It premieres on October 4th. Okay, so right around the corner. It's about four girls, high school girls,
Mm-hmm.
and now the picture that I saw, like the kind of like the promotional picture, it looks like they're holding like instruments. Like one of them has guitar, one of them has a bass, one of them has like drumsticks, one of them has like keyboard, but they're not like it's almost like air guitar, right? Like you see the outline of the instrument and it's like a shade of color.
Hmm.
So it doesn't look like they're actually holding an instrument, like almost like they're doing air guitar. And I saw that I was like, huh, like are they kind of going for like a K-On type thing here? Like that's the whole reason I clicked on it to kind of check it out. I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's a spiritual successor of K-On. Who knows, right? That's what I was looking into it.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, I'm completely wrong. And this anime is about these four girls who want to become comedians.
What
So
the hell?
yeah, yeah.
What?
Didn't get that from the poster, but I saw the trailer and it looks. I think I'm really gonna enjoy this show when it comes
Wow.
out
Okay.
because it's these four, it's high school girls doing cute things, whatever, in a club, but like these girls who want to become comedians, so you're gonna see them, try to say jokes or try to like whatever,
Stand
and
up and all that. Yup.
like stand up, right? And I'm pretty sure they're gonna bomb, they're gonna do horrible, or like the jokes are not gonna land, or I just feel like I can feel the awkwardness of it already oozing out of the show, right? So like I feel that's gonna be really funny to watch, just their interactions with each other, just to see how like maybe what jokes do work, what jokes don't work. I don't know. I'm all about this show. I thought I wasn't, especially when like I was like, wait, this isn't about them playing music. Like, no, they're about them wanting to become comedians. It's somehow the show sold me even more on that. So I feel that's gonna be a lot of fun. Um, and the last show that got announced that I want to bring up to you, Hector.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is really gonna, it's gonna. I can't believe you haven't brought. I can't believe you didn't bring this up actually, um, unless you already knew about it and you forgot about it. But it was announced, right? Fourth, five. No, actually, this was announced on Monday, right? Or yesterday? Yeah, it was announced yesterday actually. Um, there's gonna be a season three of "Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon,"
Oh my god, I did forget about that. I am so excited for that, dude.
airing October 2nd, right around
So
the corner.
that anime originally was supposed to be set to release in July with this, this rollout of summer anime, but they had to push it back due to COVID. And I was so depressed. I completely forgot that's coming out in October. I am so excited for this upcoming season,
Yep.
dude. Fall is about to be
So
lit. Oh my god.
less than 4 weeks away.
Oof.
Yeah. So that's good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Now I have one more thing I want to point out.
Okay.
One more thing I want to point out. It's not a excuse me. It's not a premiere. Excuse me. It's not a premiere. It's not an announcement or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that I'm excited for. It's really cool to see, and it gives me hope that that us as anime fans will not lose as much anime to time. Okay, it says here, Crunchyroll and Sentai Films or Sentai Filmworks partner for home video releases.
Ooh.
So Crunchyroll is getting in the market of distribution pretty much. So they're teaming up with Sentai Filmworks, and there's four anime that they're gonna, in a sense, release here into the West. Hard copies and all that stuff, full distribution and things like that. It is, what is the first one? The first one is called Grand Belm. I don't know if you heard of that anime. It's called Grand Belm. It is a
I think I
mech.
have.
It is. I remember watching this anime. It's about like these high school girls who they get into like mechs like suits. Like it's a mech anime,
Ah, okay, yeah.
but the mechs are like all cutesy,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Yeah. So I I ended up. I know I dropped that show, but who knows? It might be good. The other title is Food Wars: The Fourth Plate.
Yes, sir.
So that's you right there, Hector. There's another show called Ascendance of a Bookworm. This show gets super hyped. I always see people talking good about the show. I've never seen it.
I don't think I have
It's
either.
being yeah, but it's being brought over. And the last show, the last anime that's going to be distributed here through Crunchyroll and Sentai Filmworks is called World Trigger.
Ooh.
I've never heard of this one either, so I don't
Really?
know if it's good. Yeah, I've never heard of World Trigger, so I'm not 100% sure what that's about. But it's really cool to see that Crunchyroll's doing that because who knows? Maybe if it works well for them, it's something they will look into more, and hopefully we will have more chances to have a actual hard copy of a certain anime. 'Cause there's
Ooh.
so much anime that comes out, Hector. Of
There
course
really
you already
is.
know, and a lot of this anime, a lot of these animes don't ever get brought here to the West
Mm-hmm.
with an official release, right? Of course, you can buy the DVDs and Blu-rays from Japan, have it shipped over, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these animes don't ever really get that treatment of being brought over. Funimation doesn't really pick everything up, and like not there's not a lot of distribution of anime, like physical copy of anime nowadays as in before, which kind of makes sense, right? Because everything's going towards streaming,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everybody's streaming nowadays, right? So there's less money in it, but um, it's still cool to see that it's something that people are still interested in. Like it's pretty cool to see that Crunchyroll is interested in too, because it, for minimum reason, people want to buy these for just to have them, right? Just to collect them and things
Yeah.
like that. I know I bought a few anime Blu-rays and DVDs after I've seen the whole show. I buy them just to keep them, right?
Ooh. Okay.
So I've done that before. So and it's really and it's kind of cool. You always could go back to watch them whenever you want. You don't have to wait for the internet or whatever. Like this was one time. I didn't have any internet for like about a weekend, and all I did was watch all my Blu-rays and DVDs available
That's
for the
cool.
weekend. So who knows? So hopefully, it's something that hopefully it's a good venture for these guys and for Crunchyroll and Sensei Works Films, and hopefully from there we get more anime from these guys.
Oh
More
man, yeah, that's the
distribution
ultimate
because
goal.
yeah, exactly. So, but that's it. That's all I got, Hector.
Okay, okay, quite a
You
girthy amount.
Yeah, I mean, there was, I mean, this, I mean, there was the Crunchyroll Expo was such a huge thing, not just with all the premieres, the announcements, the cosplay, all the watching anime live, the panels, the maid cafe, like there was so much going on. It's just like it was
It really was.
almost a celebration of anime throughout the weekend. Of course we gotta bring it. Of course we gotta talk about it, right? So,
It's only right that we do. And man, I watching the Crunchyroll Expo really just made me like extremely excited for this upcoming, or rather the rest of the year. The year's been not that great. Obviously, everybody can tell that we've been stuck inside. But now that anime is back in our lives, I think we're gonna be better people because of it. Because we get to enjoy and have a good time with anime. Um,
right.
yeah, man, I can't wait till we get to the episode where we can talk about the upcoming season in anime. Oh my god, just, woo!
Ooh,
I'm
almost
just
here, man.
excited,
Almost
brother. I'm
here.
excited.
Oh baby. Oh baby.
Well, that being said, I think it's time to tune out of the news because we've covered quite a bit of it. Just want to say thank you to our correspondents Hector and Rafa who came on to the news segment, and let's close it out.
Thank you, Hector and me for the news.
And here we are. As you guys know, we are the number one, and I repeat, the number one Rent a Girlfriend podcast.
Oh my god. Oh my
If you
god.
guys
Oh
haven't
my
gotten tired
god.
of it by now, well, guess what? It's gonna come back next week because
It's gonna
this
keep going. Yeah.
exactly this episode, dude. Oh my god!
Hector, I've this
So I
this
know
show.
you're gonna go in, and I know you have some comments just like I did last week. So,
Yeah.
so I just want to preface this whole thing with Rafa, after watching the episode, sent me a message saying, "Fudge this guy, fudge this girl's best girl, blah blah blah." And I was
Yeah.
really surprised. It was hilarious getting that message. So honestly, I'm just gonna hand the floor to you. Here's the mic, Rafa. Go off. So say what you
Thank
got to say
you.
about Rent a Girlfriend, man. Because I'm super
Dude.
intrigued to see why you said all those
Oh
things.
man. It was so frustrating watching this episode because I feel like we're switching places here. I don't know how you feel about this episode this week, but I literally was getting upset watching what's his name? Um
Kazuya.
Kazuya and Mizuhara. I was getting frustrated with these two. So annoyed by them. It was just like, okay, is it because oh my God. I don't know how you cannot say Ruka-chan is best girl after this episode. She came in and laid the mother effing law. She came in and said, "You know what? I am done with both of y'all's games. I'm gonna say what needs to be said." She came in and it was laying it down. She was like, "I'm saying the truth. I'm saying." She said, "Okay, okay. Before I go into it, let's recap the episode really quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so before we start going into things, so it is New Year's, right? If I
Mm-hmm.
remember this correctly, it's New Year's, and Kazuya and Mizuhara are gonna go with Kazuya's family to visit
The
the
shrine. It's
shrine,
like a
the
tradition.
thing,
Yeah.
the traditional thing they do in Japan, right? And I think I'm skipping like the beginning scene or something. I can't remember exactly. Oh, oh, oh! How could I forget? How could I forget? Okay, so it opens up with Kazuya hanging out with Mizuhara, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm pretty sure that's the way it opens up. And then Ruka-chan finds them, and,
Ooh.
she's like, "Bro, how can you be doing to this to me? I'm your girlfriend. We gotta talk." So she pulls him to the side, and she like blindfolds him so he can't see anything, and then they end up at a love hotel. Bro, I was just like, this is not about to happen. I was losing my mind. I'm like, this is not. She is not about to. She's not
Get
about
down
to take
and
it to this
dirty.
level. She's not about to take it to this level. And also, uh, Kazuya,
Hmm.
he, I want to call him a wussy, for
Yeah.
like, ooh, running away or whatever. Um, but she is 16, so, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of in a weird gray area right there, right? Like, I don't know what the laws over there is or whatever, but
I'm not
I'm
even gonna
not gonna,
try to guess,
not,
brother.
right. Let's just leave it how it is. That's not the point we're making here. But then she's like, she started taking off her socks. I'm like, Jesus, it's about to go down. It's about to go down.
You know when
And
the
she's
socks
like,
get off, it's wild.
I was like, bro, it's a guy. And then like they and of course they made it the camera angles whatever they made it look like, bro. They made it look
Yup.
like they're about to have intercourse, right? So then Kazu's freaking out, like, oh, we can't do this, can't do this, whatever. I gotta control myself, this and that, this and that. And then she's like, what's your problem, bro? Like, I'm just trying to relax. I was like, that's funny. I found that so funny. She's like, yeah, I'm just trying to get comfortable here. And pretty much she was just like, hey, yo, be straight up with me. Tell me what's going on. Like, no more games.
Hmm.
Like, and I thought I was like, yes, yes. Get your answers, dude. Get the answers that you need to get from this freaking idiot.
Bozo.
And right. So then he told her everything pretty much. And then like at the last he went to the bathroom or something like that, right? I
Hmm.
think. And then she saw his phone light up and then she saw the message on the phone. And that's how she found out that Kazuya was going with Mizuhara with Kazuya's family to the shrine at New Year's. So what she with Ruka-chan did, oh my god, baller move, gangster move. She showed up unannounced, like, hey, what up?
What it
I'm
do,
his
baby?
girlfriend. She came up and said, I'm his girlfriend. Right after they were like, Mr. Howard and them were talking about, like, oh, yeah, we've been dating, whatever. She came up and I was like, yes, yes, tell them. She, Ruka-chan was not holding back. She was holding back no punches. She was saying, this is what it is. This is the truth. This is what's going on. But of course, and this is what got me so mad because these guys, instead of them just being like finally like saying, like, hey, okay, yes, it's true. We've been lying to you, but like, hey, she's my girlfriend or whatever. Like, she's actually my girlfriend, right? Like,
Hmm.
Ruka-chan, not Mizuhara. They could have just said it right there. They could have just cleared all the air, but of course not. Of course not. Cause he was like, cause you had to come up with a whole lie
She's a pathological liar.
that she yeah, right, that she loves lying or whatever. And it's just like, Ruka-chan, you don't deserve this. You deserve so much better than this freaking idiot. Whatever, right? So then, Ruka-chan and the grandma split off on their own, right?
Hmm.
And they talk a little bit, and I guess Ruka-chan, I don't know what was the whole realization she had. Like, did she realize that the grandma loves,
Yeah, so essentially she
like,
as she was listening to like the grandma ask like a million and one questions about Ruka-chan, she's like, "Oh, like it's not that she just wants like an heir, right? She just wants somebody to pass down the name and kind of like hold on the fort and be someone to give her like grandchildren. It's like she in her mind wants Mizuhara, not just some random girl to be with Kazuya and just, pump out babies for the family.
right? Okay,
She yeah.
okay, cool, right. That okay, that's what I got from it too. Okay, cool. So then unfortunately,
Mhm.
Ruka-chan pulled back. I didn't like that. She was so close, almost at the finish line, but she felt bad for the grandma, so she pulled back, and then she talked to Kazuya saying like, hey, you know, I'm not giving up in a sense. Like, I'm still gonna fight for your love or
Mhm.
whatever. And we'll see where. I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it ends. She's like, hey, I'm not gonna give up. But like, I'm your girlfriend, and you can't. It kind of set more rules for Kazuya with dealing with Mizuhara. Like, you can't see her by yourself or things like that, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Does it feel like she's cheating? Um, so, one thing I just want to say off the bat is I understand that Kazuya doesn't want to hurt her grandma's feelings or his grandma's feelings or whatever,
Hmm.
but fudge that lady, okay? Okay, grandma, it doesn't matter, all right? People break up, people get together, or whatever. You're not the one that's dating Mizuhara, okay? He's not. First of all, he's not even dating Mizuhara in the first place. But like, you're not part of that relationship. What? Why? Like, go fudge yourself, right? That was so annoying. That's the one thing that's annoying me more and more as the show goes on is that I understand you want to make your family happy, right? I
Hmm.
get that, right? I get that as much as anybody else. You know, you don't want to disappoint your family. You want to make sure your family's cool with you, whatever. But at a certain point, you gotta call it quits. At a certain
Yeah.
point, you're not gonna satisfy every single whim these people have, right?
Hmm.
And especially with something like this, right? Like, let's say for example, just hypothetically speaking, Mizuhara and Kazuya get together. They have a family, they have kids, and let's say then they eventually get divorced or whatever. Then what's the whole freaking point? You guys stay together for the grandma, and you guys ended up hating each other at the end, right? Like what's the point? Like, why is this lady has too much say on this guy's love life,
Ooh.
and it's annoying me. At the beginning, I thought it was funny, it was cute, because oh look at this little twist. They're trying to keep the grandma happy. Now it's starting to fucking bother me. Excuse me. It's starting to bother me. Okay, and
Yeah.
and 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 the also thing I took points away from Mizuhara because I understand she's trying to keep the whole charade going with Kazuya, and I know it also it somewhat affects her grandma too.
Hmm.
But this was literally their way out. They could have just said it. Hey, it's true what she's saying. This is what's going on. But don't worry. He clearly is dating someone, so he's not a loser or whatever,
I think.
right? It was right there for them. It was right there for them, but because Kazuya is such an idiot, he made it more convoluted. He made it more confusing, and of course, Mr. Howard is gonna follow his lead. I don't know why. She needs to cut this man off. Like, bro, like it's. I'm just tired. I'm just tired of the games. I'm tired of the BS. Okay, it's like it was funny at the beginning. It was funny. It was kind of charming at the beginning, but now I'm not liking it. Now I'm not enjoying it
Hmm.
because there's someone standing right in front of this guy saying, "Hey, I actually want to be with you. Hey, I actually like you. Hey, we're actually dating," and he's still doing this stuff on the side. Ruka-chan pointed out she was laying out. She said it's real talk hour. That's what Ruka-chan said. It's real talk hour. I'm about to lay it out for you guys. When she told I think she told Mizuhara was like how are you okay with this? Like this guy is paying money to spend time with you. Well, this is gonna be going on for another 30 years. This is going on for another 40 years while he's an old man and you're an old lady and you're still gonna be charging him. Like there's no end to this.
Hmm.
You need to end it at a certain point, right? And I was like, yes, I agree with you 100%. I agree with her. What this episode solidified Ruga-chan as best girl because she's not playing and she's the youngest one. The youngest one and has the most reasonable thought of
Okay.
all of them. She laid down the freaking law. She said, "You guys are goofing off. You guys are taking this too far. Okay, like if this is truly for your grandparents or for your grandmas or whatever, you guys need to stop because you're just extending is just gonna hurt them and it's gonna hurt you and of course it's gonna suck telling them the truth, but the longer the wait, the harder it's gonna get. Stop being children, grow the F up. 100% I agreed with her. Richan is best girl. I don't care what you have to say. I'm done with Kazuya. Mizuhara lost big points for me this episode. and I'm only gonna watch it from here on out. I'm telling you, Hector, from here on out, I'm only gonna watch it for Ruka-chan and to see what the new girl is all about. Because Fudge Kazuya, I am done with this man. He needs to for sure needs to do. He needs to do something. He needs to redeem himself, bro. Because I'm just done with him. Mizuhara, I feel bad for her. She got put in a sucky situation, but she needs to cut her losses. She needs to cut her losses and just move on. I'm getting tired of these two.
Yeah, I mean, I see
and,
it.
And shout out to Ruka-chan, best girl. I don't care what you say.
So, all right, I'm gonna preface this by saying, in the last pod we talked about how I can't wait for this to be over because I want to read the manga. Well, guess what, guys? My willpower was weak. I read the manga. I got all the way to the newest chapter, and holy moly, is Rent-A-Girlfriend gonna be amazing? That's all I'm gonna say on the future stuff. That being said, when I was watching it, I think it kind of angered me a little bit more because I do genuinely hate how much he just puts Ruka-chan aside. Like, he really treats her terribly. Like, this girl genuinely wants to love him. Yeah, she genuinely wants to love him. Although I will say, and this is my only gripe with Ruka-chan, is that she kind of forces herself on him and doesn't allow love to blossom on its own. I think she's trying to force him to love her back in the sense that she does, but at the same time, I think she loves him out of desperation as well, and not like an actual love, if you get what I'm saying. Like, he's the first person, quote unquote, to make her feel that way, right? To elevate her heartbeat. And I think she's using that in her head as a means to, like, pressure him and pressure herself into, he has to love me because he's the only one that can do this to me. You know, like,
right.
And I think that's the wrong side of how she's looking at it.
Right. Now, she could, again, I'm not, well, not again, but I'm not disagreeing with you. Okay, she did force herself into that relationship, and she did for sure force Kazuya into that relationship, hands down. Right? We're not denying that. But Kazuya needs to man up. If he doesn't want to be in it, just end the relationship. Right? And also, it does not exclude or excuse that what Ruka-chan said in this episode is the truth. Right? She told both of them, y'all need to stop goofing around with this, because someone's going to get hurt.
But I'm actually glad you said that, and here's the reason why. You said that if this is for anything other than your grandmothers, if this is strictly for your grandmothers to keep a good look on you guys, keep the charade going, then you guys need to cut your losses. And I agree, but that's the problem. It's not just for their grandmothers. You can tell not necessarily. They're
using their grandma. They're using their grandmas as
that's
an
the
excuse.
I agree. But the thing is, they're actually developing feelings for each other, and Mizuhara, more so than Kazuya, is harder to admit that. They actually genuinely enjoy each other's company and find value in each other, even though, of course, Kazuya is more of the hornball and sees just the fact that she's pretty and she's kind and this and that, and he does credit a lot of the bad times being, assisted by her to make them a lot better. And Mizuhara just needs to find that reasoning as to why she wants to keep Kazuya around, because every little scene that you see is just hinting more towards the fact that she does have some kind of feelings for him.
Right.
But she refuses to A, accept them, and B, more than that, she is just blind to the fact that maybe I actually do love him, and maybe I am jealous of Ruka-chan and how just openly she is with her view of love for him. So, I mean,
it's great. See, this is why I also love what Ruka-chan was doing, because instead of like saying keeping things hidden, keeping things under wraps, she was bringing everything to the front, saying this is what it is, this is the situation you're in. So now they have to think about it. Are we really just doing this for grandmas, or are we using it as an excuse? Right? It's forcing them to realize the truth of that they actually do like each other.
Well, we know Kazuya loves her. Like that we know, but it's more so Mizuhara trying to figure out, like, I do have feelings,
exactly.
yeah.
Like you need to get Mizuhara to that point to to accept that.
Personally, I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon. I think it's gonna be kind of,
No,
yeah, that's gonna take a
it's
while
not gonna
because of
happen.
how that show is. Although I
Yeah,
will agree, I hate the fact that the grandmothers have such power, like such high power
such
in
say.
their
It's so
lives.
annoying.
I understand that some parents, bringing this into the real world, right? Like, I understand that some parents have like a huge, I guess, hand in their children's lives, and the grandparents make a huge role, and of course, I want to say like ethnicity and nationality play a huge difference, or play a huge part in the difference between other nationalities. Like, for at least for Hispanics, like we obviously we respect our elders, we listen to our parents and this and that, but some people, they don't really, I guess, value adults and grandparents as much as others and things like that. So I don't know.
It's
It's different.
it's nothing against that. It's not saying that they don't value it. It's just that they're adults.
Hmm.
They're in their 20s. If not, they're about to enter their 20s. Okay? At that, when you're once you are a certain point in age, like you can respect and love your
Uh huh.
grandparents. You can respect and love your parents as much as you want. But at a certain point, you can't stay under their quote unquote
You got to
rule,
spread
or
your wings.
you have to become your own freaking person,
And I
right?
fully agree, but that there are circumstances in the real world, like I said, that also happens. If we're gonna keep it like this is they're in a real world setting, and so is our, we're basing it off of our experiences. There are people, and I've known a few people who they're 20, 21, 22, 23, and they're still at the beck and call of their parents, and they're like, hey, can I go out, or hey, I want to leave my job, can I leave my job, is this the right time for me to leave my job? I know people who are like that, and it's insane, but at the same time, it
Right.
just is what it is, and it's
But
about becoming your own person, and Kazuya does not have the
right.
confidence, at least from everything we've seen, to do something like that,
No,
do
of
something as
course not.
bold as that. So
Ooh,
um
he needs to nut up and be like, Grandma, go F yourself, leave me alone.
Although I will say on Kazuya's behalf, though, right? Like, he is pressured quite a bit by his family. Like, his grandmother is a very powerful woman, and she really is kind of putting a lot of her beliefs and her thoughts for him, and ideals for him, pressuring
Right.
that onto him. So like,
But
he's kind of like, I have to listen. And Kazuya, like I said, it doesn't really seem like that
Kazuya
confident guy.
needs to say, "Hey, Grandma,
No.
leave me alone. I'm gonna live my life. Okay? You already lived yours, you old hag. Let me be."
Jesus.
Bro, I don't I'm trying to do it like again. I love my mom, right? I love my mom to she's the most important person in my life ever. I never met my grandma. I never met my granddad, but I have respect for them, right?
Hmm.
But I'm not gonna sit here and let someone tell me how to live my life as an adult. I'm an adult. Okay, when you're a kid, when you're a teenager, right, listen to your parents, listen to your grandparents. They're their elders, they know what to do.
Hmm.
But once you're an adult, it is up to you. You have all the right in your being to decide what you want. That's why you are an adult, right? You are grown enough to make your own decisions. Like how are you just I know it's a cartoon, right? I know
Yeah.
I know it's an anime, right? But like just like it's thinking like as like I'm thinking like if it was like an actual person. If Kazuya was an actual person living and breathing in Japan somewhere,
Hmm.
and and for whatever reason I'm watching his life, I would have been like, bro, stop what you're doing and
Snap out
think
of it.
about it. Snap the F out of it. Act like a grown up. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Uh-huh.
it's so frustrating seeing stuff like that.
I mean, I get you. Me too, man. Like, I hate seeing Kazuya get to his low lows, and then, he has his high moments where he, comes in clutch and is a really great guy. And the thing is, like, when Kazuya's like great, he's great. But these past two episodes have not portrayed him in a very great light. And
Not
I
at
and
all.
I actually kind of like that about the show. Like, for the most part, we've seen like, okay, Kazuya's a good guy. He cares. He's not very confident. He's very self conscious. He doesn't see himself in a great light, but when he has to be carrying and all this other stuff, like he comes through and we see that he's actually struggling to get over Mami-chan and all that. Like I get that, but
Right.
his bad side is bad. Like
And you're right. I want to give credit to the show itself
mhm.
because you rarely see shows that portray the main guy, the protagonist, especially the male protagonist, in different ways, right? In different
Mhm.
lights, right? Most of the comedy romance anime, either they're the lovable idiot, but everything is forgiven, they
Mhm.
do no wrong or whatever, and things like that, right? Like at the end of the day, it's this guy, he's cool, whatever, this show, I don't know how other people are taking it, but for you and me, for this show, this guy is, for at least for me, he's getting on my nerves
Yeah, I agree.
the way he's acting. So I want to give the show points that they're for that because they're showing this character in not, like you said, not in the best light,
Mhm.
right? He seems more like an actual person. He's not always the 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 smart guy or
Yeah.
the romantic guy or the good guy. He messes up and he messes up a lot.
Yeah.
So
Um
I give him points for that.
I am still in the firm belief that Mizuhara is best girl, but only because of her
No,
past actions. These past 2 episodes, I'm gonna
no,
give. So
no,
okay,
no,
where do we at? Like 8, right? Yeah, I believe it's 8.
no. We're at 9.
Oh, 9. Okay, so 1 through 7, Mizuhara best girl. 8 and 9,
No.
Ruka-chan for sure. That's how I'm gonna scale it. And it's only because I agree. I again, Ruka-chan said everything right. She said that you guys need to put everything in perspective. They've already crossed the boundaries of the rent-a-girlfriend agreements and all this terms of, service and policy and all that wumbo jumbo. But it's something that, like, they're so intertwined, and I feel like it's only going to get worse. So it's like, I don't know. I'm excited to see this new girl come in, and I want to see if anybody else like new comes in as well, and like just things like that. I was like, I want to see every little bit of how the show progresses, and
Right.
how they portray it on actual anime. Because like I said, I have read far ahead, and Rafa, you're gonna have a blast. I'm telling you.
Um, Let me tell you why Ruka-chan is best girl. Okay,
As if
just
you
really
haven't said it
quickly.
enough.
Really quickly. It's because um, you rarely see you rarely see characters like this being called out on their BS.
Hmm.
Okay, with a lot of these shows, with a romantic comedy with like that goofy gimmick or that wacky situation they're in, the friends tend to be like, "Oh man, how are they gonna figure this one out?" Or how are they gonna, like the side characters, right?
Yeah.
Like they just kind of go along with it, you know.
Hmm.
Ruki Chan doesn't go along with it. She called them out on it, and she said what us the viewers were thinking. That's why I give that so much props to her and to the guys, to the people who are writing her and the writers and things like that, because it's you rarely see something like that where they say
True.
like, hey, yeah, this is done for jokes here and there, whatever, but overall, this is the problem, and it's going to become more of a problem if you guys don't address it. You rarely see anything like that, especially in this type of anime, get brought up like that.
Yeah.
And that's why I give it so much. It's so much points towards her. I loved it. That's why she's best girl.
Okay. Well, let me
Because
tell you why you're wrong.
instead instead of being another side character, another side piece for Kazuya, she's acting like how I would expect someone to act in that situation.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree with that.
That's why she's best girl.
Yeah, no, I was joking about the wrong part. I mean, you are, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. I still think
Eh,
Mizuhara has my heart still.
eh, I know I'm right, but I know you're gonna come around. I know you're gonna come around. So
I'm sure we'll have a little recap on every episode. Of course, the number one Rent a Girlfriend podcast. But Yeah, I mean, we've gotten quite in depth on that one. I'm super excited for episode 9. I don't know if you saw the ending trailer for the sneak peek for the next episode. So, ooh, I'm excited.
Cannot wait.
But you know what? It's time. We've talked enough about Rent a Girlfriend. I'm actually kind of getting a little sleepy, to be honest. I think it's. It's time for Slept On Anime, guys. Oh my
Ooh,
god!
love it.
And I have a curveball of a Slept On Anime.
Oh.
This one, man, I actually want to just double check. Came out in 2015. So 5 years ago, during a better time, you know, not during COVID. We are here, gathered today, whatever day you're, listening / watching this, to talk about God Eater. Have you ever heard of the show, Rafa?
God Eater. I think I have. It sounds familiar.
So God Eater, sadly, is a very short anime that never got a continuation. I don't know if they have any manga continuations. I should actually probably look into that. But God Eater is essentially a dystopian world in which these monsters have taken over the world and humans have had to run away and build utopias. Hopefully I'm using the right, verbiage or terminology, to save the rest of humanity and live in somewhat peace, right? So it's kind of, think of Attack on Titan, but with, monsters, right? Not just giants, but monsters. And the only way to fight them, because they realize that they can't fight them with normal, weapons, nuclear bombs, things like that. The only way to fight them is by using these items called God Arcs. And the action scenes in this anime are freaking sick, man. So the 3 weapons that the people can use are like a giant railgun, like imagine a Gatling gun, right? And they can use something like that. They have a giant sword, and I believe the last one is like a spear. And man, dude, it's so sick seeing these action scenes, and the monsters are called Aragami, I believe, and they are just these crazy, crazy creatures that just terrorize the world, and these people just have to try to survive. And the big plot twist behind it is only a select few can get into the utopia. You have to like pass a test or pass like a blood sample or something, right, to get into the utopia. And if you're not passing that exam, you can't come into the utopia. You can't live with us. You're not built like us, essentially, is what they say. And yeah, I mean, you just get to see the struggle and just them protecting, the livelihood of their society, and just trying to make sure that they can find a way to resolve this issue. The only problem I have with the show is that it's only 13 episodes long. It's such a great show. It gets you right in the feels, and I'm not going to lie, there's a little bit of fan service here and there, The 2 main characters are a boy and a girl, and the girl, it's pretty bad, you know what I'm saying? She a baddie. And so that's where you get your fan service from. And yeah, it's really cool. Both these guys, especially the girl is a total badass, man. Like the way she fights, her ability, her strategies, her physical capabilities are insane, man. And the guy himself, it's like he's one of those guys where, imagine like Kirito, where he's like kind of noobish and he's not super strong, and then he just flips the switch and boom, like he's all powerful. So it's really, really cool. Very excited for you guys to tune into this show and watch it. If you have watched it, let me know. And you know what? If you do know ahead of time, if this does have a manga, drop it down below. Link it. If you do have a good link, please don't make it anything weird. And I just thought about saying, please link it. Don't make it a sus link. And yeah, that's my Slept On Anime. I glad you said you've heard of it, but I don't know if you've actually watched it, Rafa.
No. With the word, I didn't know those an anime actually. I know I heard of it through because it's a video game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's where I've seen the name, like in like video game stores and things like that. Like God Eater. I didn't know there was an anime to it, so okay, that's cool. I never played any of the games either, but that's where I recognize that name from video games. But no, it looks cool. I'm looking it up right. I was looking it up right now as you were talking.
Mhm.
It does have like that Attack on Titan feel with the city that's enclosed or
Yeah.
whatever, and they have to like fight off the monsters and it looks cool. It looks cool for sure. Like it looks very anime-esque with the weapons and things like that.
Yeah.
So
They're like super
yeah.
interesting. You got to see like the what's so special about the weapons. I'm not going to spoil it, but the weapons have some kind of special trait about it, component about it. So there's that, and yeah, it's a cool watch. The only issue is it's short, but I really enjoyed it. It was an anime that I haven't watched in a long time. So
Do you know if the video games continue the story
from
or?
my understanding, there is a video game that continues after the story. So
Okay.
if you're that invested in the story, you're like, dude, I gotta see what happens. Like, I think it's like a PlayStation game, but I don't know if it even came out in the United States. It might be like a Japanese exclusive release, something like that. I
Yeah,
would have to look
because
into it, but yeah.
yeah, 'cause when I was looking it up right now, trying to find like scenes from the anime,
Hmm.
it said like God Eater 3 or something like that, like on
Yeah.
PlayStation.
There's definitely video games.
So
Obviously, 'cause there's video games of it, but I think that it did continue into a video game. Uh, kind of like going with the story. Actually, you know what? That might be the reason why I was kind of also upset about it at the end, because I definitely didn't want to buy that game.
didn't want to keep playing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, if you do buy it or you have played it, let me know. Let me know if it's good or not, and I might even, I might even go into it and see if I like it or not. But yeah, now that I have woken up from my nap with slept on anime, oh boy, it's time. Throw those animes, Rafa, across the room. It's anime swap. I can't wait till we upgrade to soundboard or something. But yeah, guys, it's time for anime swap, the most animeist part of our anime podcast.
Yes.
I love this. I love this week. This week is going to be a good week for anime because
Yes.
we have quite a bit of things to talk about today. And I know we both discussed this before the pod started, but we just recently finished our recommendations for Anime Swap, and I kind of want to get into Kokoro Connect because I have quite a bit of things to say about the show. First and foremost, I am very surprised at how it kept me very entertained. Like,
Nice.
the show itself was just out of nowhere. Like, I was a little bit confused as to like how some stuff was happening, and then they added the whole like, hey, alien, like the aliens are controlling them, swapping their minds, and I was like, yo, this show is just wild. I thought it was like some like psychic thing, but then it turns out like, oh no, it's like this creature that's inhabiting Mr. Go and all this other stuff to communicate with them and watch over them as they conduct this experiment of them swapping personalities and things like that. So yeah, I mean, my favorite is definitely Lori, I think is her name. Yeah, Lori Nagase. The little girl with the ponytail. She's my favorite. I think she's hilarious. I love her, like,
She's
her
the
antics.
best.
Yeah. And then my second favorite, I would probably say, is I don't know if he's the main guy, but the guy with the orange hair. I just love how he's so intertwined with every other character, and he has like these little gimmicks. And honestly, every single character has a gimmick. My favorite surprising thing that I realized about each character is that the girl in the orange was like a national high school karate winner champion type thing. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
what the hell? That was like super random. Like I said, the action scene when they found out about the parasite, Mr. What was like heart seed or whatever, is what they
Yeah,
like,
heart
supposed
seed.
to call him. Yeah, like that whole thing was just so. Like, yeah, like I genuinely want to see how this show turns out. It just seemed really interesting. I loved how the beginning we start off with them like, did that actually happen? Did we actually like switch places? And then I don't know where the two Iori and the guy with the orange hair, like they switch bodies, and he instantly fondles her breasts. He's like,
Yeah.
these are actually girl boobs, and I was like, dude, what the hell? I mean, granted, I mean, what guy isn't gonna say that? That's not something that comes to their mind. And vice versa with girls. Like, oh, But that being said, it's like, yeah, this show genuinely caught me by surprise. I didn't think I was gonna. I'm not gonna say enjoy because I don't think it's up there with the K-On! And things like that. But I was like pleasantly surprised at how entertained I was. I definitely want to continue watching it. I actually got up to episode 6, and there's 13 in total.
Oh.
So.
Oh, halfway there.
Yeah, exactly. I might as well just finish it off. But yeah, like I said, pleasantly surprised at is how entertained I was with this show. I would put it among my. I think. Well, I mean, we're 14 episodes deep, or 15 episodes deep. So I'd put it in like the top 8. We'll say that top 8 of the shows that you recommended. Yeah, just for the surprise factor. I did not genuinely think I was gonna enjoy it as much as I did. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's a good anime, and it only gets better. Like it only gets better. If like, I know exactly what's gonna happen, so like I'm excited for you to get to those parts. Also before I go into what I watched, at the end of the year, we should make a top 10 list.
What recommendations?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'm down. That sounds cool. Okay.
So you'll have your top 10 from what I recommended to you, and I have my top 10 that you recommended to me for like the end of the year type thing, right? The end of December into 2021. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun to do to kind of see where we're at with those animes.
Definitely.
You suggested to me this anime that is on Netflix called Great Pretender. I before you ever brought this anime up to me, I did hear it ago. I don't know if you remember, but I actually brought it up in one of the episodes, thinking it was part of the season, which it wasn't. I don't know if you remember that, but I did bring it up.
Yeah.
I was gonna watch it for the season, but I'm like, oh, it's not part of the season, so I never watched it. I just let it go. I was like, whatever, it's not part of the season. Moving on. This is the best anime you have recommended me to date.
Wow.
This is number 1.
Wow.
Before this
over
one was
Tower of God. Wow.
Over Tower of God, over Vinland Saga, over everything. I mean, this. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a classic.
Wow.
This anime is going to be up in the ranks with Cowboy Bebop, with all those like super legendary anime. It's going to be up there for multiple reasons.
Wow. Okay.
This show, okay, this is gonna sound kind of messed up. It sounds like it sounds like I'm gonna downplay anime, right? But like, when you watch, you're watching anime, and you're like, okay, and then how would I explain it? Okay, watching this show, it didn't feel like I was watching anime. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Okay.
There's this kind of a difference. Like sometimes you're watching an anime, you're like, oh man, this is such an anime, And with this show, it almost feels like it could transcend anime almost. Like this,
wow,
this it's just they just chose to tell this story through anime, right? This story could have been told in live action. It could have been told in any other format. But for whatever reason, they chose to do it with anime, and it is amazing. Just everything. It's everything about this anime. It was checkmark after checkmark after checkmark. I'm just loving all of it. I'm loving every single thing about this anime. This like I know I've told you before that I was gonna finish all the anime like Vinland Saga before. I felt like I was gonna marathon. No, I'm gonna marathon this. Guaranteed. I already know. By next week, I'm gonna finish all of it. I can tell you. I can promise you.
Wow.
The only reason that I'm not marathoning right now is because I literally right before we started podcasting, I finished episode 3. I would have kept going. I would have been on episode 7 or whatever if I had more time. Like, um, I love how it opens up with the characters. They're
Hmm.
they're speaking in Japanese and the subtitles, and then they're also speaking in English and things like that. And the English doesn't sound it isn't like the person who's speaking English. You can tell that that's not their first language
Hmm.
for both of them actually. For the two main guys, right? It's the Japanese guy and the other guy. I think the other guy's French. I think he's French. Not 100% sure, but it sounded like when he was speaking, he had like a French accent. And
Hmm.
then and then that there's that one point when they're in Los Angeles when they land. It says, "Hey," I love it. I just love how they did it. It just froze. It was a freeze frame, and it said, "Hey, from here on out, they're gonna be talking in English or whatever,
Or
right?
Japanese, yeah.
Or Japanese, whatever." I put it in English.
Oh
Okay,
wow, okay.
I put it in English. Um, Now, if you watch the show, like if you just push play on Netflix, it's gonna have the English audio on with no subtitles. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I didn't. I actually mine. So when I played it, right? When it was in
Uh,
English, it had no subtitles, and then it switched to Japanese, and then it had Japanese with English subtitles. Mine was
oh, really?
automatically set to that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, when I first watched the first episode,
Hmm.
I was like, okay, so Hector most likely wants me because I remember that scene. So I'm like, most likely Hector wants me to see this as the original Japanese audio with um with the English subtitles, right? So
Hmm.
then I watched it that way, right? And then it did that thing where it transitioned and they just started speaking in Japanese like to the rest, right?
Okay.
And I was like, I wonder how this sounds with the English,
Oh, so
with the
you
with the
went
English.
rogue.
Right. I was just so curious because of the transition, right?
Yeah.
Where it sounds like the whole show stops said, hey, they're speaking English, but from here on out, you're gonna hear them in Japanese, pretty much,
Hmm.
right? That's what the show did. So I was like, I wonder how they did this transition in English dub, pretty much, right?
Hmm.
So I switched it, and what it was is that the first part before that freeze frame, it's still their original audio from the first episode, and that's in Japanese dub.
Okay.
So they're speaking in the broken English and they're speaking in Japanese and everything. Like nothing. That first half of that episode the audio is exactly the same.
Hmm.
The characters are speaking Japanese. The ones who are in Japan.
Hmm.
The guy speaking Japanese, his English is all broken. The guy speaking French, you can hear the French accent in his voice. And then it stops and says, "Hey," and then the subtitle said, "Hey, from here on out, they're speaking in English," and then transition to the English voice cast.
Oh, so it's like essentially perfect English, and like everything just fluently just going. Yeah, in
Right.
English. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, in English.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought that was really, really cool. I really liked how they did that. 'Cause like you saw the episode, you saw it of course, like when they're in the car and the guy's talking or whatever, or like
Hmm.
when he's hanging off the Hollywood sign and
Yeah.
he's like he's yelling for help and he's like, "Hey, your English is getting better." When he tells him that,
Yeah.
you know? So or when the original or before that freeze frame, it's the Japanese voice actor screaming in
Help. Yeah.
English. And then when it does the freeze frame, it switches into the English cast for everybody.
That's cool. Okay.
And then the subtitle says, "Hey, from here on out, everybody's in English. Everybody's speaking in English," which I like it because they're in Los Angeles, right? So they're I expect them to speak in English, right? Now
Hmm.
I know you like in sub or whatever. This is one of those shows that works in dub. I'm telling you
Really?
right now.
Okay.
Yes, it does. Okay, and I know that the Japanese guy in the original audio, he does know English fluently, but you can hear the accent in his voice. In the English dub, he doesn't have that accent. It just sounds like anybody else who speaks English. But it doesn't take you out of it pretty much.
Okay.
They do mention it here, and they're like, "Oh, hey, your English is getting better," but we know, right? We know the whole what's going on, whatever it's in English dub, whatever. But it works so well. The voice acting is perfect. They sound great. Um, I love the visuals and the use of color
Right.
in the
Yep.
show. The backgrounds have so much life, have so much pop. Like it's something that you you don't notice or you don't appreciate until you see a show like this.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah, it was super vibrant.
with other anime, or not just with anime, but with other TV shows, cartoons, anime, whatever. When you look at the background, it tends to be flat, right? It tends to be
Hmm.
pretty basic stuff. It seems here they said no, we're gonna make this as colorful. Like you can take, for me, this is the way that I felt. Any of those background, right? Any you can freeze it at any point at any scene in that background. If you take out the characters, you can frame it.
Wow, okay.
It was so pretty, so beautiful. All the colors mixing and matching, the reds and blues, like it felt alive. If the background felt like it's part of the show almost. Um, I just love the whole idea of these guys trying to con people and things like that, like trying to
Yeah.
get over someone and things like that. I love, 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 love how the guy with the blonde hair had this set up for the Japanese dude from the start.
Hmm.
I was like, oh man, that was so good. That was so good. And it ended with I don't want to give too much away, but it ended with episode three ended with these guys trying to con a drug lord,
Hmm.
right? And the Japanese guy he's playing the doctor that knows the formula, whatever, right? The quote unquote Walter White, I guess we could say, right? Like the scientist, right? And they're gonna make like a stupid amount of money off this guy,
Hmm.
and they're not selling drugs to him. They're selling him like cornstarch or like candy. Like they're selling this guy a bunch of BS because they're con men, right?
Hmm.
And and I just love how each passing minute they somehow keep getting deeper and deeper into this, right? And I'm just getting more and more worried for these guys because it's not like they're just conning some random guy off the street.
Like
This
this
is
is
a
a
drug
drug
lord.
lord. Yep.
Like this guy's already breaking the law. You don't think he's gonna kill someone? He has his mobster guys with him. He has guns and all this other stuff. Like I'm fearing for these guys' lives, and it just keeps getting and the situation they're in just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And it does something that again I'm going to reference Breaking Bad, where the situation keeps getting worse and worse, and you're thinking, how are they going to get out of this? How and what way are they going to figure their way out of this? That's one of like the best things that Breaking Bad ever did
Hmm.
was seeing Walter White get in these situations and trying to figure his way out, trying to survive, try to crawl his way out of these situations and make it without getting caught, without getting in trouble, whatever, whatever.
Hmm.
This show, even though it doesn't seem to be as serious. It seems very wacky, very silly, but still have that vein of danger, right? Because they're dealing with like I said, they're dealing with a drug lord and stuff like that. They're dealing and conning people. It's more. It kind of has like a I don't want to say like a heist film type of vibe, but it
I'm
kind of
telling you, it's
has like that.
Ocean's 11, dude.
Like yeah, it kind of has that feeling like Ocean's 11, and but I'm getting hyped. I'm getting excited to see like how are they going to get out of this? Like the way that episode three ended, they're like, hey, the like they're again they're trying to BS their way out of it, saying like, hey, don't worry, just give us the money. Here's what you need to make the drug. The juggler's like, hey, you know what? Before you head out, can you just make some for me? Can you just make a little bit, just to see how it is? Nothing's better than the original, right? So now, but they don't have it. They don't have a drug, right? They're BSing this guy.
Hmm.
So now they have to figure out a way for them to get out of the situation where this drug lord is saying, "Hey, make the drug in front of me." How are they going to get out of it? I have no idea. I'm so excited to see where this goes. I cannot wait to the next episode. This is the best one you ever given to
I'm
me,
honestly
and
surprised.
it is going to be a very very hard anime to top from here on out. Um, the opening song, the opening credits, it's amazing. It has that Cowboy Bebop feel. It's jazzy. It's it's catchy. It's poppy, right? Like while the jazz going on, and then with the visuals and everything, with the silhouettes and how it's transitioning to scene of the opening with there's blocks moving, there's jets flying in the silhouette, the stream from the jet, right, from the air opens up, and then there's a whole nother, like, it's a building, like, just the transition of that opening. It's beautiful. It reminds me of like Cowboy Bebop, but more stylized, more Vegas. I don't even know how to explain. Like Ocean's 11. Like you said it, Ocean's 11. Like that style. It has that style, that oomph to it, right? And then, of course, the ending.
Mm.
I love the ending. I was sitting there watching the ending where these cats are coming out the wall or whatever, and then I hear the music, and
Hmm.
I'm like, "Is that Freddie Mercury?" I was like, "Oh my God, it is! It's Freddie Mercury singing his song, The Great Pretender." I was floored by it. I was floored by it. Like, what better ending song to choose than The Great Pretender by Freddie Mercury? Amazing, top notch. It gave this show was already a 10 out of 10, and as of right now, and with the ending with Freddie Mercury singing The Great Pretender, gave it +4. It's just I'm in love with this show. This is my this is my to your K-On, if that makes sense. If that sentence
Ooh.
makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
Wow.
just I'm all about the show. I'm all about the show.
That's nutty. I honestly did not expect such high praise for this show. Like I'm
I
like for me, I thought
Oh
that
my
was like a
God,
great
it's
show, and I really really loved it. And to be honest, it's yeah, I think it's safe to say I don't know if it came out this season, but out of the newest anime that I've been watching,
no,
it's
it didn't
definitely
come
up
out this
there.
season. I think it came out last season. It didn't come
Okay,
out this season.
but yeah, essentially like out of the new anime that I've watched this year in general, obviously Rent a Girlfriend is number one, right, or at least high up there. And then Great Pretenders is right there with it. Like it's such a great show. I actually really really enjoy a lot of it. And actually, I'm
So
glad you brought up
good.
endings because I had a question. How do you feel about the Kokoro Connect opening and endings?
I don't remember them.
Oof. Okay,
I'm
because I
being
will
100%
say
honest with
the
you.
opening is not my favorite. I don't know if it changes openings throughout the season. I kind of doubt it. Um, but it's definitely not something that I was very excited about because okay, ever since creating Anime Swap and ever since creating the pod and hearing your opinion on openings and endings, I was like, okay, at the very least, I have to watch the opening and ending for the first episode. Afterwards, I can continue with what I do, which is just skip all the way to the show or skip all the way to the recap. Or sometimes I skip the recap. But I always watch the opening and ending at the very least of the first episode. And I was not very pleased with either one. Uh,
Yeah, I honestly don't remember them, and that
enough, right?
might say something there.
Yeah.
Like that I don't remember. Even though I really enjoy the show, I don't remember the opening or ending.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, like,
So
and essentially that's what it was. I was like, oh, okay, out of the ones you've sent me, the show itself is really interesting. Like I said, I'd even move it up to top seven, or I said top eight before, but top seven, one that you've recommended me. Not necessarily saying it's seven, but yeah, like it's an interesting show. I enjoyed it. I'm actually really happy that you liked, the recommendation I gave you. Surprisingly, to a degree that I was not expecting it to be, but it's time for the new stuff that we gotta share with each other. As much as we love the old, we gotta come in with the new. And I want to start off because I have a very interesting one that it took. I recently just discovered it myself, kind of like Great Pretenders, and I got to admit the way I found it out was I found a clip on I think it was Facebook. Right, I was scrolling through one of the anime groups that I'm a part of on there because I wanted to promote the Bento Boxcast, and I found this clip of let me see, make sure I got the name correct. It is called Sirius the Jaeger. And essentially what the show is in Imperial Tokyo, a group calling themselves Jaegers secretly hunt the vampires seeking the Ark of Sirius. But among them is a young werewolf, Yuli or whatever, however you pronounce his name. So here's the thing. I just started watching it and I actually am really entertained by it. but for the most part, the action scenes are lit. The werewolf, the everything, the show itself, like it's such a beautiful show. The art style is so poppy. It's not as vibrant and colorful as Great Pretender. It's more of a lot of the darker colors, but like when it does like the blues, the greens, the reds, like man, dude, those scenes pop super hard. And I want to see what you think. It's on Netflix for those of you that want to like check it out. It came out in 2018, and I just recently found out about it. And apparently, it's actually quite a slept on anime too. So I did not know that. Obviously, I stumbled upon it, but I'm super happy I did, and I can't wait to hear what you think about it.
Okay, yeah, it looks cool. So it's like werewolves versus vampires
Essentially,
type of
yeah, and
thing.
it's like a hunter
Okay,
fighting vampires, things like that.
okay, for sure. I yeah, yeah, I'll check it out. It looks cool. It does look like it's like kind of stylized or whatever.
Yeah.
So the one that I have for you, it is called. Hopefully, you haven't seen this. It's called "The World God Only Knows."
No, I have not
And
seen that.
oh yes. This is a good one. You're gonna like this one a lot. So, um, pretty much what is the basis of this show? It is this guy. He is like a video game nerd, pretty much. He is like the how do you even explain it? Like he plays video games, right?
Uh huh.
Like that's his thing. But he only plays those romantic video games where you have to like win over the girl.
Uh huh.
Like I don't even remember. I don't even know how they're called.
Those dating
Like the
sims.
actual name. Like dating sims, right? Like yeah, like
Yeah.
he is he calls himself the god of dating sims in a sense, right? Like he's played all of them. He's mastered all of them. He knows what to do. He knows the flags. He knows how to conquer every single girl's heart in every single game, pretty much, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
he's God. He is the god of dating sims. So then he gets put in a situation where he has to, in a sense, um, win over real life girls' hearts. Like so, it's not in the game. Like his high school classmates and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I remember correctly, um, like let's say there's like an angel that comes by and helps him out, right? That shows up. And she's like, "Hey, you gotta help me collect these spirits, because like a spirit goes into one of the girls, right? Like she gets quote unquote possessed, right? And the only way they could like take the spirit out of her is by having the guy make her fall in love with him, if that makes sense.
What a odd premise. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really weird premise. So it's pretty much you're watching this guy who is the god of dating sims try to win over real life girls' hearts because they've been possessed by spirits.
Okay.
It sounds hella anime because it is hella
It
anime.
does.
Um, but it's really fun. Okay, the main angel girl that's helping. I actually think she's from hell. Actually, I don't think she's from heaven. I don't remember exactly. It's been years since I've seen this anime, but I remember it. I remember the ending so clearly,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember like everything that happens in the story. Um, but like the main angel girl that helps her out, she's hilarious. She's like that ditzy, goofy type. She's really
Mm-hmm.
fun. They have such a fun dynamic because he's always serious. He's always trying to be like that cool guy or whatever, but he's a nerd. He's a geek or whatever. Um, and then it's really fun to see him take what he knows from these video games and try to apply them to real life. You know, quote unquote real life because it's an anime, but like in his real world, his real life, right? So it's like, okay, this girl as an example, this girl she's on the track team, right? Okay, well then he goes into his memories like, okay, well I've played this game, and these games deal with girls who are on the track team. Okay, so how should I approach this? Okay, I'll do it like this. So then, depending on how she reacts, like, okay, she reacted this way, and it's kind of like almost like in a weird way, like kind of like Light from like Death Note, or is like, oh, I predicted that action, or I predicted her saying that type of thing. He's kind
Wow.
of like
Okay.
genius level almost. Like he's playing he's playing chess while everybody's playing checkers
I
almost type
was
of thing,
literally
you
about
know?
to say that, dude.
Yeah. And sometimes it works for him, sometimes it doesn't work for him because you know what? Not everything follows a video game. Not everybody's as simple-minded as a video game
It's not a
character,
dating
right?
sim. Yep.
It's not a dating sim. So it's I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm not expecting big results in a way to say it. Like I don't think this is gonna be in anywhere like in your top five. I don't even think it's gonna break your top 10, honestly. But I think that you'll find some enjoyment out of this show.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, that's it sounds weird, and I've been
It is
surprised
weird.
before. So, especially with like the BB gun, the BB gun slice of life close
Oh, that
clubs.
yeah,
So
that
I
was
mean,
great.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm definitely excited to see what this is about. We'll definitely talk into it or talk more in depth about it in the next pod. But woo, I mean, that's episode 15. We've made it to the
yay!
very end. And I think it's finally time to kind of close it out. So, Rafa, I'm gonna let you get the initial shout outs, anything you want to do up real quick, and then I'll close it out.
For sure. I just want to say really quickly, shout out to uh, the Playing Pod with Alex and John, Geek Jar 3000. If you guys heard, of course you heard at the beginning of this episode, I'm gonna be doing some part time over there or whatever, right? Whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna be on that channel also. I'm gonna be on their podcast, and we're gonna be making gameplay stuff like that. So if you're looking for a podcast that deals with video games, TV shows, movies, anything pop culture, go check it out. Go listen to them. They know what they talk about. If not, they know how to BS their way through it. And don't worry, guys. With me there, I'm gonna keep them in check. I'm gonna call out. I'm for sure gonna call Alex on his BS because Alex be saying some things out there that John just lets it slide. And I'm like, no, 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 no. This show, this movie, whatever, it sucks. I'm gonna I'm reality check for these guys, all right? I'm gonna put them in check over there in that podcast. Um, so go check it out, and also go subscribe to that channel because we are gonna be putting up gameplay and stuff like that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Also go check out Three Up Prints. Alex and John and our friend Nathan have a T-shirt printing company. It is all handmade. These guys make amazing work. I'm actually wearing the one that I bought from them right now. It's super comfy.
Yo,
It's
me
just
too. Holy
the
shit.
best the best material. I'm telling you guys, like this shirt, top notch quality work. If you guys need, if you guys want a custom shirt printed or anything like, let's say it's the the annual family picnic, right? It's the annual Raffle family picnic, right? So I gotta get 100 shirts for all the Rafa family members, for Mama Rafa, for Papa Rafa, for Brother Rafa, for Sister Rafa, for Uncle Rafa, for all the Rafas in my family, right? We gotta get all shirts for them. Who am I gonna call? Real Prince, because I know the quality they make. I know they're gonna do it in a timely fashion, and of course they're gonna give you a great price. So you guys looking for stuff like that? These guys got you. They got you. Okay. 3uprints.com. Also check them out on Twitter and on Instagram. Amazing work, top notch. That's it, Heck. That's all I gotta say.
Oh my god, and that was
I
such a
think I
nice
think
thing to say.
I think you can cover the rest. Am I right?
I think I got it. Everyone who is listening, I only have one thing to ask. If you truly enjoyed what you heard, make sure to leave a like down below. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell because you want to get these notifications for the future episodes that are going to be coming out every Friday of every week at the latest 12 noon. And man, I have been super happy with how this episode came out. I can't wait for the next one because, we just love giving you that anime good stuff, that weekly dosage of anime. And of course, if you guys want to, communicate with us and have us read your comments, of course, drop the comments down below. And also, do not forget to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/Bento Boxcast. Look us up there, as well as looking down in the description. We also have Rafa's Twitter handle, who is Me Talk Anime on Twitter, and mine, who is Ultra_Vman. And of course, you can find me streaming on Twitch every week, every so often, a few days. The schedule changes, but I'll be on Twitch, Ultra_Vman, playing a ton of games. Come join, come hang. It'll be a good time. And let's see, am I forgetting anything? Oh, I know exactly what I'm forgetting. If you need to listen to us on the go, don't forget. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I believe Google Podcasts, and any other podcasts associated with the Anchor platform, Anchor.com. You can find us on there, Anchor.com/Bento Boxcast. All the links in the description down below are going to be there, so definitely check them out. 3 upprints, 4 Play and Pod, 4 our podcasts on the to-go channels and platforms. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Can't wait to read your guys' comments. Can't wait to hear more from you guys. And I believe, Rafa, that is it.
No, actually, Hector, you forgot one very important thing. It's brand new, guys. Brand new, right out of the box. Okay? Do not forget to join the mother effing Discord.
Oh my god! I gotta remember to say that. Oh my god!
Brand new Discord. All right. So if you guys are, oh my god, listen to this. Look how nice we are, Hector. Look how easy we are to get in touch with, Hector. We have all these. We have Twitter. We have. I was about to say Facebook. We have Twitter. We have the YouTube. That's if that wasn't already enough. Now we're on Discord. Oh my god! Now you can actually join the Discord, get in touch with us even more on a personal level, right? Because we have so many different channels or like rooms or whatever they're called on Discord. We have channels, for the memes. Yeah, the channels we have for the memes. We have for the actual anime discussion, spoiler talk. If you guys just want to talk in general, and we got that +18, you know what I'm saying, some annotated, you know what I'm saying. We got all that on that Discord. You already know. Go ahead and join. We already have a few people in there. Shout out to y'all who joined. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see the rest of y'all get up in there. Because once we have a good number of people, we can start doing things like my best friend Josue said. We can start doing watch parties. We can start doing a bunch of other stuff. Have a bunch of fun. Really get this community going. Do not forget about that Discord, my fellas. Go ahead and join that.
Yeah. And with that being said, that is it for today's pod, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining. And remember, be kind, be safe. Have fun out there. And yeah, that's it. That's where we're going to end it off. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Doodles.
Bye.